relationships are pretty significant in our lives. And so this month is about to hold a vision of love about relationships. And what we're specifically going to share and talk about a lot this month is we're referring to committed relationships. Who wants to commit their partner? No, I'm kidding. Committed relationships, intimate relationships, those relationships that actually are our closest in our lives. And no matter what, whether we're in an intimate relationship or not, we are all in relationships. We have lots of relationships in our life because what we're going to talk about this month is true for all relationships. And again, we're going to focus on things as it relates to our partnerships, our intimate relationships. So Peter and I came up with this talk title, and I want you to know all the way through college, my undergraduate degree, I love math, and I was very good in math. And if you didn't know 1 + 1 = 1, you didn't take the same math courses I took. But it's going to be pretty clear, I trust, what this 1 + 1 = 1 is all about. And it's significantly important where we start from in a lot of things. We want to create deeper, more meaningful relationships. As spiritual human beings, we actually are, we interconnect. We're not meant to live on an island by ourselves. The people that have done that, I don't know how successful that's been. We are tribal people. We're communal people. We like to bunch in clumps, don't we? Don't we? Yes. Who here lives on an island by themselves is never around another person? Right. Rhetorical. Silly. I know. And so I'm curious, seriously, who currently, right now, is in a committed partnership, intimate partnership with someone? Please raise your hand. Okay, you can look around if you want, but who's in a committed, one more time, who's in a committed? Who wants to admit that they're in a committed relationship? Okay, great. Okay, you can put your hands down. Who here currently, in this moment, is not in a committed relationship and wants to be in one? Raise your hand. I'm just modeling, okay, just so you know. Okay, single people, look around. Keep them up if you want to. Look around. You don't have to maneuver the waters of different religious background. Look around. Okay, who wants to start the single circle in the community? Yes. Okay, very good. The truth is, what Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. and his co-author talks about, Heather Ash, is that relationships are one of the most powerful catalysts for personal growth. Who has known this to be true so far? Oh, wow. It's like if they told us, would we have even started? And again, these are all kinds of relationships, and these intimate ones really are catalysts for growth. Most of us have lived on the planet long enough that we've at least had one or two, yes? Mm-hmm, we have. And it can be a wild ride. I love how he describes this, or they describe it. He says, romantic relationships can take us from sublime ecstasy to the deepest despair, and just a word or a look from our beloved. Y'all know those looks. They can lift us up to great heights of clarity. It's like everything's so clear, and great heights of passion and open-heartedness, or they can drop us suddenly into the pit filled with fear, grief, confusion, and judgment. It's like this, they call it the roller coaster of love, don't they? Wee, whoa, wee, whoa, wee, whoa. Oh, my goodness. And to make it all even better, there's really no right way to do this, is there? We're not given an instruction book or a handbook, and we're not told, like, if you do steps 1 through 10, I promise you it's going to work out. Are we? There's really no right way to do it. There's no rules that if we follow them, it will guarantee to lead to happiness and joy. So we're in this wonderful soup called intimate relationships that take us up and take us down and take us up. And we don't really have the rules. So it's especially important to look at people that have sometimes more knowledge than us, more experience than us. That might not be our parents. That might not be our school teachers. That might not be our friends, But there are people that certainly can help us lead the way. And we're here to help lead the way from the spiritual aspect, right? And how that comes into play. Well, so a lot of times it's very significantly important to lay that solid foundation. And so week 1, we like to do that sometimes. And so it's week 1 on a topic. And I trust we're laying a solid foundation for all of us today. And the first one that we're going to talk about may be a little hard to hear. It might be a little hard to swallow, but I'm just going to shoot real with you. I'm going to let you know what they say in the book. And that is, first and foremost, you cannot change anyone else. Really? I've been trying for so long. Please don't tell me that. I'm still trying to change Petra. But you can't change anyone else. You can only change yourself. Everybody do that. And there, as they put it, there's no more difficult place to practice this inherent truth than in our most intimate relationships. So if we really take this to be true, that we can't change, has anyone succeeded at changing anyone? Not a soul? I guess it really is time for me to give up trying. So out of, over 100 people right now, there's not a soul. So we might as well just stop trying. We might as well just stop trying. Let's focus on something else. What do you say? Who's willing to stop trying? Oh, y'all are brave souls. But we ought to just stop trying because we can only change ourselves. And that's where the work begins. And to start looking at ourselves and to be real with ourselves and to tell the truth to ourselves. Ancient wisdom has been talking about this for tens and tens of thousands of years, long before there was anything that could be recorded and shared, probably pictures first, stories second, the whole 9 yards. And ancient wisdom has been telling us that when it comes to you, i.e. me, right? When it comes to each of us, the spiritual truth is there's nothing to change. There's nothing to change. We truly don't need to change anything right here and right now. That is the truth of who we are. And this wholeness of who we are, nothing needs to be added and nothing needs to be subtracted. So I have a question that I want you to seriously think about. You can answer in this moment, and a question that I want you to take with you all the way through our time together and into the week. You heard that there's 7 There's 7 secrets to this thing. The first one that they talk about in this book is commitment. Commitment is a key and primary thing to a relationship that is required and needed and warranted. So the question is, are you willing to make a commitment to love someone fully, completely, and wholeheartedly? We got one in the house. His wife said, "Thank you." Though I don't think that, she's sitting over here. That came from over there, Deirdre, but hey. Kidding. I'm going to ask you again to just be with this. Are you willing to make a commitment to love someone fully and wholeheartedly? Yes. Yeah, okay, great. Are you sure? Yes. Because it's very, very important. It's extremely important. What do they say about this? This commitment to love someone fully. Consider this radical idea regarding commitment. What if that special someone you commit to, no matter what else or who else comes along, is you? Yes, I'll read it again. Consider this radical idea. This shifts everything from 60 seconds ago. Consider this radical idea regarding commitment. What if that special someone you commit to, no matter what else or who else comes along or is present now, is you? The real secret behind commitment in relationships is that it all starts with a commitment to yourself. Now, I know you've heard this before, but it helps to be reminded. This is foundational because if we don't honor who we are, it is impossible for us to truly honor another. So within, so without. Life is a mirror. It's a spiritual truth. Most of us, whether we have been in a relationship for 20 years or are currently looking for one, so that's almost the whole gamut here, right? Need to learn how to truly, deeply, fully commit to ourselves no matter what. But what does that really mean, and how do we do that? Committing to yourself begins with dropping the ideas that you must change in order to be loved by someone else that you need, and that you need someone else to be complete. Would y'all like that repeated? Yes. And when you buy the book, it's on page 6. You can underline it too. Committing to yourself begins with dropping the ideas that you must change in order to be loved by someone else, and that you need someone else to be complete. Anytime you are seeking to complete yourself through being accepted by another, you are actually leaving yourself. You just left the relationship. You just left the relationship. So you do not need to change in order to be loved. You are actually lovable. Give yourself a hand, yes. You are actually lovable. You are worth loving. Let's just embody it. Say, I am worth loving.
I am worth loving.
Oh my goodness. I wish I had known this decades ago. And I'm still swimming in the waters. You are worth loving. There is nothing that needs to be changed, nothing that needs to be altered, edited, taken out. You're already complete and whole. I remember, I was a little younger then, but not too much younger. I remember when I dated someone, a yoga guru, for 9 months. When I met this person, it was like, oh, great, you're perfect. Will you dye your hair blonde? And I did. That's how I got blonde highlights to begin with, y'all, and I've kept them ever since, just so you know. But it was like, would you dye your hair? You know, I want you to dye your hair blonde because you'll look better, okay? Now, you need to lose some weight and you need to start working out because I'm a yoga guru and I've got to be seen with somebody in shape. So boy, did I start. Oh, and you need to change your diet. Will you change your diet? You can't put that sugar in your body and this and that. I started working out. It wasn't bad for me, I'm not saying, but look what I was doing, okay? Oh, now, you need to change your clothes. You've got to go out and get a whole new wardrobe. This is at the start of a new, I should have known then. You know what it took? It took 9 months in. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling on myself. I'm just going to tell on myself. You know, you pee too much in the middle of the night. There's this pill that will stop you from peeing so much. I think you need to take it. Because you're disturbing my sleep at night. Let me repeat. You do not need to change anything about yourself to be loved. You are worthy of love already. It's right here that Ernest Holmes says that if we make ourselves receptive to this idea of love, we become lovable. To the degree that we embody love, we are love. This is why people who love are loved. So again, the spiritual truth and what he's saying, and this can be misinterpreted just like a lot of scriptures can be, but what he's saying is, and what I've already said, is you are already loved. You are already lovable. You are already worth loving. And as you believe this idea, that is the receptivity of the idea of love. I am worthy to be loved because I am already loved. Then we become lovable. It's the embodiment of that. And so when we don't embody it and what we don't embody, the spiritual truths that we don't embody, then we send out negative vibes. We say, well, I don't believe the spiritual truth that I am lovable. I'm already worthy of being lovable. So I send out negative vibes and everybody says what? You're not lovable. And then guess what? I'm changing my hair color, getting my buff on, taking a pill just to prove that I am, when all along the spiritual truth has been, I've been here all along. I am lovable, I am worthy. And I don't need to look outside of myself for that. So, as we make a full commitment to ourselves and we believe and we embody that I am lovable, right? Then the foundation has really been laid well. And he gives us some tools in the book to help us do that. The first one that he tells us is this is all about intimate relationships, okay? You need to break up with your judge. Just go ahead and call the whole thing off. Pack your bags, leave. Break up with your judge. This unhelpful voice that's in your mind that tells you don't try something new, that talks to you about all your past mistakes, right? This judge comes out when one is fearful, one is lonely, one is regretful. How this judge speaks to us and how we listen to this judge affects all of our relationships that we have. It especially affects the relationship with ourselves. And it affects the relationships with others. So when we listen to this inner judge, more likely, here's the rub, as I listen to my judge, I judge my partner. Now, I've already left the relationship with myself inside of me by listening to the judge, and now I'm projecting onto my partner, so the inside and the outside of me is not doing so good. And so the judge makes us feel unworthy. This judge makes us feel unworthy of love. This is what he says about the judge. Committing to ourselves starts with accepting and loving ourselves exactly as we are right now. It is as simple and as complex as that. We let go of who we think we are supposed to be, who we wish we were, and who we think others in our life want us to be. Doing this, this is the first step in coming home to ourselves. Commitment to ourselves continue when we make the decision to break up with the judge. This isn't easy to do. For most of us, our relationship with our judge is one of the longest relationships we've been in. Okay, if you're willing to admit it, who's in a relationship with the judge? Yeah, and he talks about this a lot. You know, the judge will sometimes say things like, my legs, my hips, my thighs, fill in the blank are too fat, I'm not lovable. I'm such a failure, I'll never get this right, you know? This judge talks to us. He says once you notice your judge, rather than fight it, simply say to yourself, I'm not going to treat myself like this today. I'm going to love myself instead. And you can include your inner judge in that. You don't want to be judgmental of your judge. That's not good. I choose to love myself today. It's like meditation. We're not attempting to eliminate the thoughts when we meditate. They come, but we don't grab them, right? When the judge pops its head and, says, here I am, why are you trying that new thing? Oh, why are you going to go out on that first date? Oh, why are you going to take this new class? Why do you want to play a new instrument? No one's, blah, 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 blah. You just kindly say, I choose to love myself today. I'm in a committed, intimate relationship with me. I'm inviting you to just leave the table right now. Dinner's over. Whatever it takes, be aware of the judge when the judge pops up, because you are worth loving. Another tool that he gives us, which really is good. In order to be in the most intimate relationship that you could possibly have in your life, you got to break up with a few people. You've got to break up with your judge, and you got to break up with your victim. You got to break up with your victim. Okay. He says, now that you found your judge, it's time to locate your victim. Don't think you have a victim? Well, the truth is you can't have a judge without a victim. And you can't have a victim without a judge. They're two sides of the same coin. While the judge is that critical voice that says things like you're not good enough or you'll never be loved, the victim is the part of you that listens. Now you got two people sitting at your dinner table. The victim is the part of you that listens, believes, and feels bad as a result. It takes the blame and the beating without standing up for itself. Breaking up with your victim starts by questioning the rambling pronouncements of your judge rather than believing them without question. Wow. And he talks really good. This is only chapter 1, folks. About the subtlety of the victimhood. It's really good. Things are subtle. And as we, start to notice the big rocks, then we can start seeing the little smaller ones and pebbles in the subtlety of life. The victim also shuns responsibility, acting as if whatever's going on, we don't have any role in this situation. We put the blame on someone else instead. No, it's all about them. They're the problem. She's the problem. He's the problem. Right? When we break up with our judge and with our victimhood, we claim our power and we claim the truth of who we are and have always been. And we claim that power. That power and that truth that you are loving, you are worthy to be loved. Another tool that I have come to find that's helped me, that's not in the book, is to commit, almost first and foremost, because I know it's probably going to be last on your list, commit to take time to love yourself. I want you to just bring into your awareness right now the past month, okay? So January. Where it's a fresh new month, bring in January into your awareness, and I want you to think about those things that you did or said or acts of loving someone else. Just bring them into your awareness. Just start bringing them all into like a space, and you're sort of seeing how many there are. Just gather them up. Past month. Hey, let's go into the holidays, because I bet you did a lot during the holidays too. So just bring them together for other people that you love. Okay? Got that? Got that? Okay. Glad y'all are still with me. Now I want you to do the same thing for yourself. Things you've said, things you've done. That is a loving act to yourself. Just bring them in. Okay, right hand is other people, okay? Left hand is you. Just show me by way of scale. Right hand is other people, left hand is you. Where are you? Oh, some of you not even lifting your left hand. It's like this. Just be with that. Some of you are doing this. That's pretty cool. I started doing this tool over now 9 years ago. I happen to know that it's Christine Volkmer's birthday today. Yes, okay. So, February 3rd. On a digital clock, her birthday would be 2:03. Okay? Tomorrow's Tracy's, just so you know. Tracy Brown's, 2:04. All right? Mine is 8:18. Everyone in this room and in the sound of my voice has their birthday, I promise you, on a digital clock. Shout yours out. And those who didn't, shout yours out. There you go. I started doing this. At 8:18, I started saying, I love you, Karen Fry. Sometimes on the inside, like, I love you. And then I started going, I love you, Karen Fry, out loud, because I was usually around people. It got to a point where I remember one night I was in a Target, and I was literally going down the aisle, and I looked at my watch, this back in the days when I wore one, but I carry a cell phone a lot too, so I see it a lot. And I saw 8:18, and I went, I love you, Karen Fry, and I started hugging me, and everybody was going, what the heck? I kid you not. I want you to start this practice. I promise you, if you do, you're about to see your birthday on a digital clock more than you ever did because you're looking for it. There's sometimes it's 8:16, and I'll hang out for 2 minutes. Yesterday it was 8:19, and I just pretended it was 8:18. Now Petra does it, 8:18. I love you, Karen Fry. She's but the point is, I'm doing it for me. This is one step that we can start doing to love ourselves, to committing to ourselves, that we realize that we each are worth loving, and we start taking time for ourselves. Now, all of this comes back to our mathematical equation. And the reason why we can look at the spiritual truth that there's only one here, so there's one plus the divine, there's only one. Yes. And for human spiritual beings like us in intimate relationships, as we know and start doing, shoring up that we each are so worthy of love that we don't need to change a thing. There's nothing that needs to be added or subtracted. We don't have to change our life for that person out there just so they will love us. I have done that so much to ad nauseum. Not anymore. Don't have to put ourselves through health challenges or move or whatever unless we want to, but not so they will love us. See? Not to get the love, because we're shoring up that I am lovable. Then we have someone that knows that, one, and another person that knows that too. Now we're in one healthy relationship where we're fully committed, each of us, to ourselves, to love ourselves, to be ourselves, to not change ourselves, to not seek for love outside ourselves. And when we do that, every relationship we have is real, genuine, and grows. And so, start this week. Break up with the judge. Break up with the victim. Stay committed to yourself in that loving relationship. Start looking for your birthday on a digital clock. Tell me about it in a week, how many times you saw it. And know, most of all, that you are worthy, so worthy of love. Let's pray. And so we go within to that infinite field of love, that unconditional love that has no conditions to it, requires nothing but to be itself. This one infinite field of love and peace and wholeness and creativity and grace. Love is the irresistible sweep And this love, this unconditional love, showed up as each of us. We are that love. And by the mere fact that we are in the physical presence and we're breathing this breath and we're moving about this beautiful planet, we are worthy of love. There is nothing that needs to be added. There's nothing that needs to be subtracted, because the spiritual truth is that we are love already, born, made manifest. As we know this unconditional love as ourselves, as we give this unconditional love to ourselves, as we know that there is only one love and one life, our life outpictures as this love. And so it's in this moment that I speak the word for each of us and absolutely declare that we are love. We are worthy of love. We are worthy of our own love. That love which shall never leave us, never depart us, never abandon us. It's always present. And so it's in this moment that I know that we take time to love ourselves and to love those that are closest to us. And we take time to love ourselves and to love ourselves and to know that we are worthy of this love. And it's by this sweeping, irresistible, energetic, wrapped up in everything, that we embrace that I am it, and it is me, and it is us. And so I see through the eyes of love. I move from the eyes of love. I act as this love. And love mirrors back, pressed down, multiplied. And so I release these words unto the universal law, knowing that the law does its thing. In full faith and trust, I know that love is present and love is on the field all the time. And so it is.